Today is, March 30th. This whole crazy fucking month is over. Almost. One more day. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Gotham High. That's like the one big thing people have been, messaging. I looked at it. I cracked a few jokes along the way. Basically how I'd rather pour bleach on my eyes than read that book. Maybe that's what started Corona, was that book. Kidding, joking to people. This month has just been really, really crazy. It's been early morning, man. But a lot of things been talked about. One of them being the sorry, what was I saying? I got distracted quickly. One of the things that was quickly talked about during this whole virus was DC Comics not printing new books. It's the one thing that is going to kill me the most is no new comics. That is what's going to destroy me. Is like I want to read new comics. And the one thing that's happening is all these stores are going to be open. But DC Comics decisions spark retailers' concerns over the coronavirus. While numbers of comic book publishers announced that they are suspending and restricting publication of physical and digital comics, DC Comics has announced last night that they are going to use the multi-distributor options to get their books out in the world physically and digitally. Which means a new printer, new distributors, and that they are still open, and that Comixology and Kindle retailers venues could include comic stores that are not shut down yet. Which is good news, to see DC do that. New printer, new distributor, venues include comic book stores that are not shut down, bookstores and mass marketing stores for essential items. these have a lot of concerns for raise more outspoken comic book retailers. I have to say this one. The comic book store I go to, Darkside, has closed its store from going in. They are doing delivery, which which they started delivery of comics. I don't know what that means. Hello, love. I don't know what that means for, like, going to the store. I don't know if they're doing the curbside store. I don't know what Darkside's doing. I want to call them and see what they're doing. Tomorrow I'll probably call them and see what they're up to, because I need new books. I'm like Dave Chappelle's character from the Chappelle Show. You got any more of those comics? Like, that's kind of how I am. And the thing about it is, like, I was so aggravated last night. I was, like, overthinking. I had to, like, take my anxiety med, because I have to take anxiety meds before I go to bed. About it, I was like, going, like, what the fuck am I going to do? They're talking about this whole corona thing lasting till June 1st. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, there's going to be that whole month, April, May, June, where there's going to be no fucking books out. None. And now DC's like, we gotta get a new plan. We gotta get this. Part of me wishes Dan Didio was still in charge, because he would have had shit planned out. He would be like, okay, we got this idea, we're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do. That long on my... They say, like, coronavirus could end in June 1st. Which would be good news. If the Democrats don't fuck up that plan. They probably will. They'll probably try. But if Dan Didio was in charge of DC, he would have had this thing figured out. I mean, a lot of people say, like, Dan Didio's a bastard, but, you kind of need that to plan things out. I mean, that's what it is. And now they're like, okay, we got to get a new printer, we got to get a new distributor, we got to do all these things. And it's like, okay, like, the thing about Dan Didio was that he would talk to retailers. Like, I remember a documentary, Comic Book Palace, where Glenn, the comic book shop owner, would be like, DC would call and talk to owners, asking how everything's going. Do they need this book? What books do they need? I don't know if they do that now. I hope to God they do. I take it they probably don't. Now they're probably going to the Marvel route. Marvel will never fucking call us, because Marvel doesn't really give a shit. I mean, you heard writers from Marvel be like, comic book readers are just customers. That's what they are. Customers. They're a dollar sign for them. They're $3.99. They're $4.99. That's what they are. They're just customers. They don't matter. That's why Marvel writers act like fucking dicks on Twitter. I mean, that's their favorite thing, is dicks. Because that's what they would tell readers. I mean, you heard one Marvel writer tell a customer to go eat some dicks and fuck off. That's their thing. Now, that's Marvel's thing, because they've probably been sucking a mouse's dick a lot lately. Ever since Disney bought Marvel, Marvel's been lazy. That's what they are. They're just lazy writers, lazy editors, lazy artists. That's what they are. Marvel's gotten greedy and lazy, to quote Sylvester Stallone. Greedy and lazy. That's what they are. And I'm sure with this whole coronavirus, they probably are happy that they don't have to do work, because they got Daddy Mickey over here taking care of them. No, don't worry, guys, I got your bills. Like, that's what it is. And you know, they're like, well, we're freelance. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter now, because you pissed off a group of people. It ain't gonna help you. You do a GoFundMe for a book, they sure as hell are not gonna help you, because they'll look at you. See that tweet right there you wrote to me? Yeah. Look who's laughing now. That's what it is. And you have CB Cebulski, you know, telling readers, come on, you guys, we're all in this together, we're all in the same boat. It's like, no, we're not in the fucking same boat, CB. You and I are not on the same level of boat. Alright, you got a profile picture, you can buy a burger. That's all you can do. You and I are not on the same boat. And the thing is, it's like, why are you telling people, support the local comic shops? It's like, that's great, but people aren't sure as hell ain't gonna buy your books. I went into Dark Side before they had to, like, close their doors and do delivery. I seen a bunch of Marvel books that were not selling. Reminded me of Secret Wars. Or whatever wars they were doing. That book did not sell shit. That book is probably still on a shelf. And the thing is, Marvel is, of course, going back to the well with the New Warriors, the, non-gender binary characters. DC decided to hire a writer to write Gotham High. I saw this book and I just cringed. I saw the trailer and I was just like, oh god. I felt like the dude in Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. Gotham High is coming. I looked at this book and I watched the trailer, and I will admit the music in the trailer is kind of catchy as shit. I wish they would just put, like, here's the song, here's the person who did the song. I would listen to that. And a lot of people are like, this is the same Gotham High that was going to be the animated show. It's like, no, it's not. It's a different entity. The show had more characters. This book is about 3 people. I know a lot of people are confusing Gotham High with the canceled 2009 animated series. That show was going to be written by Jeffrey Thomas, who was the creator of it. Jeffrey Thomas was going to write the show, a plot around Bruce Wayne attending the high school with Barbara Gordon and his entire rogues gallery, with socially clicked people such as the Riddler as the nerd, Croc as the bully, Freeze as the cool kid. And I love the Freeze part, like that's the cool kid. But some of the elements were reworked into the web series DC Superhero Girls, which involved, So, for those who keep going like Gotham High was that canceled animated show, it is not. There was a different writer, a writer who actually gave a shit. I'm not saying the current writer, what is her name? And now I think they do like someone was such a fan on DeviantArt, they did like mini comics of Gotham High. Melissa Dela Cruz did the yeah, I wish they would have done the animated. Someone on I gotta mention, someone on DeviantArt named Shred Smiler does like the comics now. I think it's like sort of doing like these mini like comics with the Gotham High animated series, which looks really cool. I like some of them. I love the Batman Catwoman ones. The Mr. Freeze and Joker one is pretty cool. But damn, when I saw the Gotham High comic, I was just like, what did I just watch? Because when they first announced it, it was going to look interesting. But the thing about Melissa Dela Cruz, I think is her name, that's what I'm going to call her, she was more interested in doing this multicultural love triangle between Batman, Catwoman, and the Joker. The thing I'm going to get into, I'm going to slowly get into it. I don't want to like rush into it and be like, and people be like, what? It annoys me how people are so focused on culturism. It's all about culture. Like, she wrote in the graphic, a 17-year-old part Chinese Bruce Wayne. I didn't even know Bruce Wayne was Chinese. I thought he was English. Because most actors who play Batman, two of them one who is a brilliant actor is Welsh, Christian Bale, and Robert Pattinson, British. He sounds American. It's like he lost his British accent. I mean, there was like great American actors who played Batman. Adam West from Walla Walla, Washington. It was pretty cool though. Like my aunt and uncle and my cousin live in Washington, and they went to Walla Walla, Washington. And they took a photo of them in front of the sign. I was like, oh my god, that's where Adam West is from. You know? And I know a lot of people are like, well, you probably don't respect different cultures, Chinese. It's like, no, my cousin in Washington is married to a guy who's Japanese, and they have a kid, and my cousin happens to be Mexican. So what does that tell you? They basically are the characters from Gotham High. They're basically that. They're the characters from Gotham High. How about that? It's a joke, by the way, so bear with me. And Ben Affleck played Batman, and I'm a big Ben Affleck fan. I love Good Will Hunting. The Town was a great film. Gone Girl scared the hell out of me because it happened in my backyard. And Gone Baby Gone is one of his. It was hard to believe it was actually a film it was his first time directing, and it was like this dude looked like he'd been doing it for years. And a lot of his films are, Surviving Christmas, a lot of people give that film shit, but I actually like that film. That was a really good film. Jersey Girl was, great. Anyway, let's get back to this Gotham High. Dela Cruz described Bruce Wayne as a bit of a great Gatsby character, throwing parties at Wayne Manor that he doesn't like to engage in. And she populates she populates his world with the future villains of Gotham, including the future Joker known as X Smith, Bruce Wayne's best friend, until they both meet the Latina Selena Kyle. I love how she puts like Selena Kyle is Latino or Latina because Dela Cruz is Latina. So I guess it's like I'm writing Selena Kyle like I'm Selena Kyle. It's like, lady, look at you. No, you're not. You're one creepy old lady. I just it surprised me. They hire people that never wrote comics. Now, DC has been having, I'm going to say, successful run with young adult graphic novels. We got The Super Sons by Ridley Pearson, Catwoman Under the Moon, which turned out to be a great hit for people, both critically and the fans loved it, because it was like the actual best Catwoman comic in a long time. And the art was beautifully done for Under the Moon. Like and they of course adapted Batman Nightwalkers into a graphic novel. And I believe the same artist who did Under the Moon did the Batman Nightwalkers, I think. I'm 100% sure. But that was a great book, by the way. I actually have the novel. I ordered the graphic novel. Still waiting for it. And I have the Audible audiobook. So I really like that novel. I really like that story. The one character kind of reminds me of Selena Kyle so much, which I always thought like maybe she was in the story, you know, but they just decided to change the name and everything to it. Because the female character sees through Bruce, like she knows who he really is, which Selena Kyle does that. Selena Kyle, and that's the thing I think a lot of people like about Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne's relationship is that she sees through him. She sees past the fake facade, the fake mask he wears, and she sees who he really is. She sees the real individual inside. That is something that I always think is the thing. Their relationship. Talia just sees like a weapon. That's the thing I always hate about. I don't know why people always go like, Talia's such, Talia knows Bruce. It's like, not really. Talia just looks at him like, a weapon. Like, you could be just like my father. It's just like, ew. It's just like, Talia has a lot of daddy issues. So, anyway, the problem I have with this Melissa Dela Cruz is she messes up 3 prominent characters in one iconic universe that people universally love. The Batman universe. You have all these big characters, these big, larger-than-life, iconic characters. And you completely mess them up. And that's what a lot of people just didn't like the trailer. Like, if you go on YouTube, the trailer is just destroyed between the likes and dislike ratio. People dislike the shit out of that book. Out of that trailer. They just dislike it. Now, I could be wrong and the book comes out and it's actually good. Just the trailer was bad. Except the music. I like the music. I don't know why. It's very relaxing music. Like, I wish I knew who did the fucking music. It's kind of like the music in the Last Night on Earth comic. Like, that trailer was fucking good. The book was great. I love the Batman Catwoman part because just the artwork. Greg Capullo is one of the best artists, I think, ever. My opinion. Kidding. I like Capullo. He did a lot of cool artwork. A lot of cool album cover designs. Like, if they ever do like a book where it's just Greg Capullo artwork of Batman, Catwoman, all other characters, I would buy it. You know, I like how he designs the bat cowl. Like, it's a very sleek look. I wish they would have done it with Pattinson's Batman. I think that would have been cool. But I like the Gotham by Gaslight cowl look, the little stitching and all that. But anyway, the thing I'm getting to is they hire writers that just don't get the character. And they come up with these new designs, these new ideas. And sorry, I woke up. Remember, I sleep with the fan. This is how I sound in the morning. I sound like I'm dying. But the point I'm getting to is they bring in these writers who just use ideas outside of the comic book realm. They do. They use all these ideas and stuff. And I'm going to read some of the interviews that some parts that she says that really stick out to me that I just don't like. It took me back to like when Superman Returns came out. How Bryan Singer used the excuse of like, I made Superman Returns for the audience that went to go see Devils Wear Prada. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't think women go see comics. And the thing is, the question I wanted to ask him was like, was that the film you were just obsessed with before you made Superman Returns? And another part of me was like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, I would have rather seen the Tim Burton Superman movie than Superman Returns. You would have had Nicolas Cage as Superman, but when I think about it, it's not a bad idea. It's very different. But this is what the first thing comes up. DC Comics' new graphic novel, Gotham High, reimagined Bruce Wayne, along with versions of Catwoman, Joker, aka Jack Napier. It was going to be Jack Smith, but I guess Jack Napier. Is Jack Napier in it now? I mean, like, if I named Joker, I would have named him Herbert. I don't know why. But in a world that feels more on par with Gossip Girl and Crazy Rich Asians than anything that comes before in the canon. That point, reading that, I wanted to pick up my laptop and throw it out the window. You add two things I don't give no shits about. Gossip Girl and Crazy Rich Asians. Why? But anyway, here's what she says in the interview when the person asked. They're playing the trailer. Trying to click off of it. There we go. Entertainment Weekly asked, when DC Inc. approached you about reinventing a young adult version of popular comic book characters, what drew you to Batman? Melissa de la Cruz states, my husband is a big fan of Batman. So when DC called and said, we want to do a YA line, young adults line, what character do you want to do? I wanted to do Batman. It's such a fun, the iconic character I could put my own spin on. Nobody asked for it. So, I want to react to the book. I bet he was just like, what the fuck did you do? So, for me, here's the question of, what excited you both about debuting new versions of not only Batman, but also Joker and Catwoman? De La Cruz, Bruce Wayne is a billionaire. He's the richest man alive, so I thought, wouldn't it be fun his family was Chinese from Hong Kong? That made it feel real. There's been a huge influx of wealthy Chinese who moved from Hong Kong to Arcadia in Los Angeles. That's where my mom lives. I'm part Chinese. My brother lives in Hong Kong, so I thought it would be great to put what I know into Bruce Wayne. I just wanted him to be a little bit more representation of my background. See, so she's putting herself in fucking character. I write stories. You don't know, it's part of my little hobby. I write stories. I write, the things I like to add into Batman, like conspiracy theories of, like, Illuminati, or... Now I'm doing a book called Batman vs. Justice League, which adds a bit of monster conspiracy theory, like Superman being reptilian alien instead of like a regular human-looking alien. Instead, he's a being from a portal of our world. So I added my conspiracy theory thing because before I did the podcast, I was pretty much down in the rabbit hole, obsessed with conspiracy theories and stuff. Which I really like. I really like that stuff. It's my little hobby. Minus I don't have the giant wall with, with string connecting lines and stuff. Like what you see in other things. But I don't add myself into the book. I don't add, like, Bruce Wayne, his family's from the South with Confederate Army history to it. I don't fucking add that. Because when you write the character faithful to the entire canon and stuff. And that's what part of the problem a lot of people have with Tom King was that he wrote himself into Batman. And a lot of people got a problem with that. This... it's like, why do you have to change up the character? Why, after 80 plus years, do you have to be like, Bruce Wayne's Asian, he's from Hong Kong, instead of being born and bred in Gotham? He's just from Hong Kong. That's the thing about it. A lot of people are going to have problems with it. It's like, why do you have to include your fucking life history into the character? No one cares. No one does not give no shits about... Your stories are awesome. no one gives no shits about Hong Kong. Because it's like, when I think of China, one, I think of the crazy ass coronavirus that just been shipped here from them. Two, their corruption of torturing people being held against their will because they want to have a communist socialist agenda. Three, they fucking torture their own people who don't support or agree with their supreme, leader. That's the thing I think about. I love Chinese people. I love Chinese restaurants, but when I think of it, a lot of people come here just to get away from how shitty that country is. A lot of people do. That's the thing about it. And you coming up in here going like, he's part, I'm part Chinese, so Bruce is going to be part Chinese. He's from Hong Kong. I'm from Hong Kong. Nobody doesn't want to fucking read that. Nobody doesn't want to read your autobiography being told, vicariously through Bruce Wayne. And no one does not want to go like, here's the one part made me go like, this book I'm skipping. This is going to be the first Batman thing. I know I said I skipped the Tom King stuff, but here's about the books. I just didn't want to read them. I just wanted to give him a little more representation of my background, giving him an authentic family. Alfred is just not his butler. It's his uncle, his gay uncle from Hong Kong. Why the fuck did you do that? You went from like making something like, she's, his family's Chinese, she's just like him. Alfred is not just his butler, his uncle, his gay uncle. It's like, why the fuck did you do this? Why did you do this? Why? Why did you do this? Alfred might be British, but he's not flamboyant British like Elton John. Why did you have to include that his gay uncle part? At this point, if I was interviewing the person, I would just throw up my papers like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm done. This book fucking sucks. I would give the Bill O'Reilly rant. So, and she gives this ending to her statement of it. Is she skipped the whole fucking thing about Selena Kyle and Joker. Just went for like Alfred is the uncle, but the gay uncle from Hong Kong. She gives this ending. It give it this fabulous, crazy rich Asian sheen to it. I would be like, why did you do this? Reading that statement gave corona. I know I shouldn't joke about coronavirus, but I'm skipping the artist part because he's just like going like, yes, I agree. It gives representation, all that. Basically, this artist is just like, I'm happy I did art. That's basically, I'm reading a writer's statement. Inspiration part. What did you use for inspiration of this new Batman? Same. Here's Dela Cruz's statement. This part, I immediately go like, I wanted to punch my screen as hard as I can. I wanted to give the Brad Pitt statement. I'm going to hit you as hard as I can. The Brad Pitt part, I want you to hit me as hard as you can. I wish they would put that line in the Batman movie where he tells his dog, I want you to hit me as hard as you can. And the person punches him and Batman just wham, knocks the dude right fucking out. You know what? I'm going to put that in the book. I love the movie Fight Club, by the way. For those who don't know, it is a good fucking movie. One of Brad Pitt's best movies besides the Ocean 11 movie. And Ocean 13. Some people are going to be like, what about Ocean's 12? I skipped it. That Ocean's 12 was just bad. It's weird though, I used to like it a lot, but now I hate the movie. I love the Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 13. Ocean's 13 I especially love because Al Pacino was in it. When Al Pacino's in it, I was just like, I fucking love it. I highly recommend Ocean's 11 and 13 for those who've never seen it. Those are really good films. And I know a lot of people are like, you talk about George Clooney playing Batman. Here's the thing. If George Clooney played Batman and they had a good scriptwriter, he would have gave a shit. When you think about it, Clooney wasn't a bad Batman. It was just that he was put in an awful script. I think if they had it like... The thing about it is like they... Like I can't defend Batman and Robin because they ruined my favorite villain, Mr. Freeze. Like I wish Nolan would have done a Batman movie with Mr. Freeze in it. Oh man, that would have been so fucking good. That would have been a good movie if Nolan did Mr. Freeze. I hope Matt Reeves does Mr. Freeze. Like, put Michael Fassbender as Mr. Freeze. Better yet, no. Fassbender would be Dr. Fate. Johnny Lee Miller as Mr. Freeze. Like, for those who've never seen Johnny Lee Miller, he played Sherlock in Elementary. He was the only good part of the show. Like, Lucy Liu brought nothing to the table. Like, Lucy Liu brought shit. She brought nothing to the table. And I know a lot of people are like, wait, like, I like Lucy Liu. She was great in Charlie's Angels. Like, I felt bad for her. She had to put up with Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore. I shouldn't give her shit for playing Watson in Elementary, but she really brought nothing to the table. Like, nothing. That's the thing I love about Sherlock, is like, when you have Watson in it, you need somebody just as iconic to bounce off of Sherlock. That's why Jude Law is a brilliant brilliant Watson in the Downey Sherlock Holmes movie, is because Jude Law can hold his ground against Robert Downey Jr. When I think about it, Jude Law would be a great villain for Batman. You know, a lot of people talk about Johnny Depp playing Joker. Why not Jude Law? Like, that dude has a creepy smile. I would say Kevin Bacon as Joker, but he is just scary enough without the makeup. I know somebody messaged me like, you shit on Jared Leto for so much. Is Kevin Bacon now the next victim? Yeah. Kevin Bacon's a piece of shit. I mean, not really. Like, I felt bad for him when he got scammed out of Bernie Madoff. Like, I felt bad for him. But he just picks shitty roles in film and television. Like, like, a lot of people say Tom Cruise was bad. No. Kevin Bacon acts like he's 20 and he's 60. No one does not want to see you with no shirt on. Put a shirt on. You have saggy man boobs. No one doesn't want to see that shit. It's like Tom Selleck when he did the Robert B. Parker books. The man did a scene with no clothes on. Nobody wanted to see that shit. You're not Magnum anymore. You're Grandpa Magnum. Put clothes on. No one doesn't want to see that. No one. No one. You nasty old man. No one doesn't want to see that. I forgive him now because he's in that one show, Blue Bloods, which has been on too long. The only reason it's on for so long is, they got Tom Selleck, and it's like, how often do you get Tom Selleck? And I would rather see him, Jesse Stone, that's what it is. I'd rather see him do the Jesse Stone TV series than do Blue Bloods, because, he brings nothing to the table. It's like, at least with the Jesse Stone stuff, it gives him something to do. He just stands around and gives like this mentor guidance to his kids who are cops. So. And I'm not tagging Tom Selleck anymore, because Tom Selleck is a rarity. If it's Robert Wagner, then absolutely, he did it. You probably like what he did. What he did it. It's like OJ. Y'all know OJ did it. Anyway, here is her reason for inspiration for her new version of Batman. What is the inspiration? Tell us, Dela Cruz. I pitched a kind of Gossip Girl Batman. I hate this woman. I really do. Gossip Girl. The boring, overrated, or hyped CW show. I never watched it. I seen trailers of it. I seen TV spots of it because I watched Smallville. Smallville was on when Gossip Girl was on. And I watched Supernatural. And in my mind, this is Dela Cruz, I'm going to continue it without cringing. In my mind, I wanted to reinvent Chuck Bass. Who the fuck is Chuck Bass? He's still Bruce Wayne. It's not the Great Gatsby. Oh, fuck you, lady. I love The Great Gatsby. That's a great fucking book. I've never seen the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, but I love The Great Gatsby. That is a great fucking book for those who never read it. It's one of those books I'm surprised the governor of Missouri hasn't banned yet. Give him time. He probably will fucking ban it. It's a great book. I never seen the DiCaprio film. A lot of people talk about it like it was a good movie, but I never got around to seeing it. But I do recommend the book by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It is a great work of fiction. Gatsby is like one of those iconic, stories about following a cast of characters living in fictional towns of West Egg and East Egg of the Long Island in the summer of 1922, which the story primarily concerns a young, mysterious millionaire, Jay Gatsby, and his passionate obsession of a beautiful woman named Daisy. So it's a good book. I highly recommend it. I know they did like computer games of it, which I never played it. I never played they had it on the iPad, the hidden object game about the Great Gatsby. I never played it. But if you want to see a movie, I did see the Mia Farrow and Robert Redford with Bruce Dern in it as well, the 1974 version of Great Gatsby. I do recommend that one because Redford is a great actor. So this lady saying it's not the Great Gatsby, fuck you. Bruce Wayne is basically Jay Gatsby. He is basically who that character is. He's very brooding. He's very, mysterious. Like, he's this mysterious enigma because When you think about Bruce Wayne, all you hear is the rumors, the stories of who he is, but no one knows who Bruce Wayne actually is. No one knows. I mean, the only people who know him is the Bat family. Alfred, Selina, Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Barbara Gordon, Stephanie Brown, Jason Todd, Damian Wayne. They all know who he is. They all know who Bruce Wayne actually is. He's just this mysterious enigma. You know? So here it is. He's not the Great Gatsby. So he's still brooding. He's still a loner. He still has all that iconic Batman personality. You can't mess with that much. But making him Chinese was a no-brainer. Go fuck yourself. What is it with race? What is it with race? Why are you so obsessed with race? What is your obsession with it? Honestly, what is it with that? What is it with race and gender and sexuality with characters? You go over to Marvel's side, past them saying go eat a bag of dicks or something. Once you go past that stupid shit, for them it's all about the character's race, gender, and sexuality. That's all of it. That's what it's all about. I'm sure if you ask some of them their honest opinion about Spider-Man, they're like, well, you know, he's just a white, straight, cis, male gender character. I'm sure if you ask them that, that's the definite answer. It's like one of the writers stating that she didn't like Batman because he was a white man, a white straight man. That was basically it. That was the whole thing she did not like about Batman. And I'm sure DC would quickly hire her if she complained. I made a joking tweet to CB Cebulski about hiring me because he didn't like me because I'm white. I didn't get no response back yet. Still waiting. So making him Chinese was no brainer. Everyone was on board from the beginning. Ugh. Then she talks about the her and the artist talk about the designs of the character, designing the character. The artist saying that the Joker was basically his character. The character was mostly designed based on him. The artist said that. De La Cruz wrote, and I would send you fashions for Selina because I had really specific ideas for outfits I wanted her to wear. The artist, of course, says, and that really helped. That brought more of what you envisioned onto the paper. So this woman had no idea what she was wanting to do with the whole character. The story is basically... Alright, speaking of that love triangle, we always see Batman, the Joker, and Catwoman at odds with each other. Sometimes Batman and Catwoman in romantic situations. Where did you get the idea for a full-on love triangle? Anyway. De La Cruz. This is what she states. Ah, boy. I always remember this quote from Truman Capote in Cold Blood, where he's talking about the killers. He says something like, we came from the same place, but I walked out the front door, he walked out the back door. There was this feeling that they were the same person, just different circumstances. I wanted to put that in the Batman-Joker dynamic. They're almost the same person. But Bruce has this privilege, and Jack has nothing. Oh, fuck yourself, lady. Enough. Fucking enough. Batman, Bruce has all this privilege. Jack has nothing. Jack is not a real character. Joker does not go by Jack. Unless it's Batman 89, then he shoots the person. Jack is not a real character. Joker has no identity of who he once was. In fact, I don't think anybody knows who the fuck the Joker is. This privilege. What is it with these SJW cuck writers? Always about privileged. Privileged. Enough. It's like, as one person once said, like, well, you have white privilege. It's like, how the fuck do I have white privilege? Look at me. Like, I have no privilege. At all. I don't. And this whole idea of, like, they're the same person. They're not. They're not the same person. Last time I checked, I don't think Batman gassed people and killed them. Instead, he blew them up in Dawn of Justice, which was pretty cool, by the way. I believe you. Sorry. I believe you. I love that part, by the way. Like that, I remember seeing that part in the theaters. I was just like, oh my god, he just did the scene from Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. I was just so excited about that scene, the whole warehouse thing. I talked about it before, how much I just was on the edge of my seat of like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like, it was funny though. It's like I seen Avengers. What was it? The Infinity War. Was that the one where, you know, Thanos erases everybody from existence? Was that the part? Was that the film? I forget. I don't remember anything from that fucking movie. At all. That movie was like over 2 hours. I don't remember shit from that film. I didn't even walk out of the theater thinking, like, you know that one scene that was really cool? It was basically me and my uncle went to go see that film, and I don't remember shit from that movie. Nothing. At all. I don't remember anything from it. Dawn of Justice, I remember a lot of it. A lot of parts from it, because I guess because it was just like the one film I've been waiting years to see. And I've seen, you know, Dark Knight Rises in theaters, and I love it. I love that movie. It's probably one of the best Batman movies I've seen. I never seen Dark Knight in theaters because the theaters were always packed, sold out. I wish I would have seen it in theaters, but I never did. But Dawn of Justice, I think for me it was just like the version of Batman you see was like the version of Batman I've been wanting to see. The look. I mean, I love the Dark Knight Batsuit. But the story of an older Batman who was like at the end of his career as a superhero, a vigilante, better yet, vigilante. Pattinson made a good point where he said Batman isn't, you know, he doesn't fly, he doesn't have all these magical powers, he's a vigilante person, which I totally agree. When he said that, I was just like, this dude knows Batman. Like, this dude knows fucking Batman. So I'm pro Pattinson on Batman, because once he said, like, Batman doesn't have any magical powers. He doesn't say magical words or a magical rope. It's like, I like you. You're right. But seeing this older Batman fight basically a person with godlike powers was something about that I liked. Because, and I especially love the part where he goes, "You're no god. You're not even human." I was just like, I dig that line, because this whole idea of this Batman movie, the Dawn of Justice, as even though I look at the world now, and it reminds me more of The Dark Knight Rises in a weird way, but this whole idea, this whole scene of one man fighting a superpower is something I like. One dude who is broken down, had broken bones, nerve damage, all these things that he went through in life, kicked around, fighting a superpower that people either fear or people worship, is something fascinating. And that's what I love about Dawn of Justice, was just that. This one pissed off dude who just had enough, fighting a power. That's what I liked about it. I know a lot of people kind of joke about the movie, saying like, "Oh, Martha," and it's like all this thing, but it's just like, you look at the metaphor of the movie, you can have different interpretations of the metaphor of the movie, but for me, the thing that I liked the most was just this one guy who's pissed off and aggravated, fighting this superpower, this being that people worship or fear, and overcoming that power, showing them, I could kill you, but I don't, because I pity you. I mean, he doesn't pity. I mean, he kind of, Snyder gave this really interesting live stream. I didn't watch it. Where he explains the Martha scene. Where he's like, if you look at the mask, Bruce isn't wearing his full mask. You see part of his face. And the whole point of Save Martha was a way that Clark, Superman, reaches to Bruce, like, you need to save Martha. Because Bruce, in the beginning of the movie, for those who don't remember the movie, otherwise you probably do only remember that one scene, was you see Thomas reach out and say Martha. And Thomas wanted to save Martha. But Martha died before him. Bruce wanted to save his mother, but couldn't do anything. He didn't know what to do. He was just so in terror and fear. He didn't know what to do. So that scene was sort of a way for Bruce to save Martha. Now that he has all this training and this ability, I mean, look at the way he beat the shit out of everybody in that warehouse. That was a dude with so much anger, years of grieving, that he's just like, bam. That scene, still to this day, I watched a YouTube video of it. I don't know why. It was just something about that scene. I guess the way everything looked. It just looked like how I always wanted to see Batman in a way. I guess, when you ever watch the Dark Knight trilogy, which I enjoy, I love any Batman films. It's just like, you never got to see, like, Batman as full potential. Like, I guess when you played Arkham, the Arkham games, you see Batman just take down all these criminals and stuff during fights. You're like, I want to see that in a movie. And we finally got to see it. So, from talking about one good Batman to back to Gotham High. Past the privileged. What does that do to who they become? Clearly Dela Cruz never read Joker. Never read any Joker comics. Joker becomes fucking crazy. He gets thrown in chemicals. His face turns white. Well, his face, his skin is bleached white. He doesn't get a tattoo on his forehead that says damaged. He doesn't get grills in his teeth. He doesn't get a shitload of tattoos that are completely unnecessary. Instead, he becomes this crazy, psychotic killer that he finds amusing. He finds himself amusing that he kills people and laughs, and he basically gives everybody the killing joke. Batman, Bruce, becomes this vigilante Cape Crusader defending Gotham. That's basically who they become. I love the one comment Gail Simone made about Jared Leto Joker. She was asked, like, what did you think? For those who don't know, Gail Simone wrote the Birds of Prey comics. And she was asked, what did you think of Jared Leto's Joker? I saw it and I don't like it. Which I just thought was kind of blunt and honest to the point. Anyway, and there's a girl in the middle. The hottest girl to ever walk the halls of high school. She laughs. Dela Cruz. And what does she want? It came out of trying to figure out all their desires. What does Jack bring to Selina that's different from what Bruce brings to Selina? Ultimately, you don't know who she's going to pick. You root for them both, and there's a surprise at the end. And here's the artist, who I get is possibly a kiss ass to the writer. Probably kissing this writer's ass, like, you're such a great writer. Oh, I can't wait for the next book. I hope I get to write the next book. Basically, this artist is just a total kiss ass. Like, you never see Capullo praise Scott Snyder's writing ability in every question and answer. He basically gives his own answer. Like, or you never hear Joella Jones praise Tom King. She just basically goes like, well, this was my interpretation of what he wrote, and this is what you're going to get. And Joella Jones is a excellent writer. She did a new book. She does a book called Lady Killer. And it's it's really like a horror slasher comic, where she writes this character who is a killer. Set in the 50s, I take it, because that's what it looks like. And Joella Jones, who I miss doing Catwoman. I look forward to Sean Murphy's run with Catwoman, but Joella Jones, like, she brought something to Catwoman that it reminds me of what Jim Ballant brought to Catwoman. Like, that's the sad part about, like, Joella Jones leaving Catwoman. Is just like, her art's going with her. It's like, and I like Sean Murphy's art cover and stuff. I like his artwork, but it's just like Jones just drew. She drew two different sides of Catwoman. She drew Catwoman, but she also drew the human side, the vulnerable side of Selina, that I really find beautiful. Like, you see this vulnerable, like, I feel like Selina Kyle's like the same way as Bruce Wayne. Well, they are the same. They're soulmates, basically. They have three different sides to them that you see. With Catwoman and Selina, you see Catwoman, you see Selina Kyle interacting with everybody, and you see this private, vulnerable side to her. And for me, that's what I really liked about Joella Jones's art, was just that. You got to see three different sides of Selina Kyle, Catwoman. And for me, I'm going to miss that. Like, I'm not going to say, like, the new artists and writers are, not going to bring that, but it's just like, her artwork was just that damn good. And I really wish they would have let her do Helena, Tom King's story. I wish they would have done that, because she would have probably brought something really meaningful and unique and beautiful to it. And for me, it's like, if they ever do a spin-off comic with Helena Wayne Batwoman, because that's who Helena becomes. She doesn't become Huntress. She becomes Batwoman of Gotham. I want Jones to do the artwork and the story, because that would be something meaningful. Like, you get to see this older Bruce Wayne and Catwoman, Selina Kyle, show up, give her motivation and hope, encourage her to overcome her battles. Like, if they were ever going to do 5G to it, you might as well let Batwoman take over. I don't want to see Luke Fox Batman. I would rather see Helena Batwoman. That'd be something different. But I don't even think 5G is going to happen anymore. So, here's what the artist says, praising her answer. There's a Shakespearean aspect to the love triangle. Really? Ah, boy. And you get to see the artwork. Here's the thing I hate. Anyway, you get to see the artwork. You see Bruce beat up the bullies. You see him get in trouble. You see him get thrown out of school. You see Jack... Here's the one thing. The one story part I don't like. You see Jack digging through dumpsters. And behind him in the background is an adult XXX video store. Why do you have that in your book? I mean, it's a young adult novel. Kids are going to be reading this. Why is there a XXX adult video store in the background and one panel of the book? Why is that? And this one, Gotham Daily. The only newspaper I know that's in Gotham is the Gotham Gazette. Anyway. And you see Jack find $10 in a dumpster. And you see two people sell drugs. And you see Jack walk past a liquor store. And you see Jack go into a bookstore. And you see him put the book in his back of his pants. Dumbass. Oh, good. You get to see Jack flip the middle finger. Oh, how wonderful. So you get to see all these adult things in it. I don't get it. Like, you wrote this book as a kid's book, but you get to see adult XXX video store, people selling drugs, which, okay, when you think about it, yeah, that happens everywhere. It's shitty. And you see a person use the middle finger. This is supposed to be like a Batman book. But anyway. The way they kill Bruce's parents instead this one is someone breaks into Wayne Manor and killing them. Tying up the mother, leaving her in the bathtub. And you see Bruce's flamboyant gay uncle, Alfred. But in this one, it explains that apparently Bruce lives next door to Selena, which I kind of dig. I like that. But it also explains, here's what she says. So the rumors are true. My old playmate is home. Welcome back, jerk. She holds the book and says, "Oh, Jack, you know me so well." And that's the final part of the... So, here's the comments that a lot of people wrote. Bob Kane is rolling in his grave, which admittedly he's probably stole it from Bill Finger. A story we've never seen. Judging by the reaction, it is a story that we never wanted to see either. One person wrote, "Keep destroying comics. You morons are doing a great job." Someone was writing something like from a Tumblr forever ago. I wonder who is the target demographic is, because I assure you teenagers are not even into this. I'd like to know that. That is a good question. Who is she targeting for this book? That's... Okay, I hate the book. I don't like the way she wrote the characters at all. I really don't. I don't like the way she wrote Selena Kyle at all. I don't like the way she wrote Bruce in this one at all. I don't like the way she wrote Jack Napier, Joker. This book's gonna suck. For anyone who wants to read it, go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you, but I don't like this. I'm still waiting for the Ridley Pearson Super Sons, because I really enjoyed the first two books. Overdrive I will be buying, because I want to read that one. It looks like an adorable book. Under the Moon I loved. I thought it was very beautifully written. The artwork was just done beautifully. I want to see a sequel to that one. I want to see more. The way it ended, it was just like it ended on a cliffhanger where you're like, what happens next? There was a lot of people who had high hopes for this book. I was one of them. I thought, like, man, this is going to be an interesting concept. But for me, it was just like, I don't know what this woman was going for. And the thing that surprises me is, out of all these young adult novels, they never did a Superman 1. They never did a Wonder Woman 1. They never did a Flash 1. I call dibs on the Flash. I would probably write the hell out of that story. Barry Allen going through different parallel universes. It'd be kind of a mixture of Back to the Future 1 and 2. Mostly 2, where young Barry meets his older self as the Flash. Like, I would write the hell out of that story. You know what? I'm going to write that story after this podcast is over. It just shows that I love the Flash. They've done so many Batman stories. I would write the Flash because, it'd be fun. But you know what? That would be an interesting concept. Like a young Barry Allen, who already has the powers, goes through different timelines and stuff. And he goes to the future and he meets his future self, Barry Allen, the Flash. There would be a cameo by Batman. But that'd be such a cool story. Like, Barry's trying to like figure out who he is and what he's going to be in the future. And he meets his future self and he has hopes and he helps his older self, save the day. That'd be a good story. That would be. The thing about these stories, these young adult comics, and this one is just this book has no meaning, and his writer just wanted to write this smutty teen romance book. And a lot of people are like, well, it's just like Twilight. It's like, no, Twilight was actually a lot better. A lot better written. This book, she basically is like, I want to write this mixture book of Gossip Girl and Crazy Rich Asians, which I assure you, no comic book fan has seen either one of those. At all. And I'm sure there are teenagers, young adults now, who probably don't even know what the fuck Gossip Girl is. And I'm sure if they probably watched it, they'd be like, this is a dumbass show. Like, a lot of, teenagers, kids, I assume, watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something. Because that's actually better written and better acted. But what are you writing? Because when young adults, kids buy books, you want them to read something positive. You want them to read something that's hopeful. Like, Batman is that character. He's about overcoming darkness and doing better. The Flash, same way. Catwoman, the same way. I would recommend Under the Moon to anyone, because that is a beautifully written and beautifully written and drawn book. It's about Catwoman, Selena Kyle, dealing with personal issues that a lot of girls deal with, and she overcomes them. That's what it's about. This book is just about, who is Selena going to go with? who's she gonna, like all this type of shit, this gossipy girl shit. Selena Kyle isn't about that. She isn't about, whatever this Dela Cruz woman wants. I mean, if there's going to be one person she's going to be with, it's obviously going to be Bruce Wayne, because she's going to have fun toying with him. That's what, she's like a cat. When she has like something and the cat has something in his claws, it's going to toy with it before it claims it as its own property. I know. My cat took my socks, okay? That's what Catwoman is. And this whole idea, like, one thing I wanted to ask this question is, why is writers and artists trying to make the Joker hot? Ever since Jared Leto played the Joker, it's all about making the Joker this male model type character. What is it with that? I mean, the Joker is like this disgusting looking motherfucker who is a psychopathic killer. Like, my interpretation of Joker would be Doomhead from 31. Richard Brake played Doomhead, and if I ever made a Batman movie, he would play the Joker. Because if you ever look at him on Google Images as Doomhead, or watched a YouTube video of 31 Doomhead, he is a scary looking dude. Like, there is one part in the movie that I immediately watched and think, like, this is something Joker would do. This guy, I was going to say Joker, Doomhead kills a dude with an axe. Before he hits him with the axe, he apologizes because the axe is dull and not sharp, so it's going to take a couple whacks to kill him. I'm like, that is the Joker. The Joker would do that. And I'm thinking, like, instead you get the Joker not really doing anything in Suicide Squad. He became the butt of the joke in Birds of Prey, and that movie was awful. Like, so, for me, it's just like, what is it with this obsession of making the Joker this male model character? Like, what is the obsession with it? Is the question I want to ask. What this comic book is trying to bring. The Joker is the worst individual in existence. He kills people, he destroys people, and stuff. Like, I don't get it. I don't. So, anyway, Marvel confirmed that Black Widow would be released in theaters. Disney's doing anything they can to get money. So I'm going to look at other DC Comics young adult books. I wonder what other books are coming our way, since DC announced that they are going to release new books, which means I guess they're getting a new printer, a new distributor. So I am happy to hear that, because if they didn't get new books, man, I would lose my mind. Anyway, they announced DC announced new books. Shadow of the Batgirl, Oracle, the Oracle Code, The Lost Carnival, a Dick Grayson graphic novel, You brought me to see the first LGBTQ plus romance novel. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Book. That looks atrocious. I know some people say it, but no. There's no even no comic book. Batman Tales Once Upon a Crime. I want that book. I want that book. Let's see. I want that book. Batman Tales Once Upon a Crime. DC Superhero Girls Powerless. That book actually looks adorable. DC Superhero Girls Powerless is the second graphic novel based on the hit Cartoon Network series. I cannot wait to read. I want to read that one. I actually have been watching the DC Superhero Girls series. It was a pretty awkward moment when I was watching. He goes, "What the hell are you watching?" Because yesterday he was bored, so we went in a car and we just drove around. Anyway, I was sitting in my room writing on the laptop, and I was just playing the cartoon. I was like watching it and looking at my laptop, and he was like, "What the hell are you watching?" So it was an awkward moment. Black Canary is out. That one's pretty cool. My video game ate my homework. Okay. They did do a Superman one. Wow. Superman of Smallville. This one's about Arkham. Wow. Arkham-Maniacs. Arkham-Maniacs is... the artwork looks adorable. I actually like that. The artwork looks adorable. I actually want to read that. That looks really cool. Arkham-Maniacs is... the unique cartoony take in a certain apartment building, Arkham, in Gotham City. The people who live there. A young Bruce Wayne is drawn into this fun excitement as he sees going on at Arkham, but to Wayne Enterprise is just another property they owned. Aw. I actually want to read that. I love that. It looks a mixture of like Animaniacs meets Arkham. And you see like little Bruce Wayne holding his mouse friend, and you have Joker, Harley. It looks like an adorable little book. I kind of want to read it. Zatanna and the House of Secrets. They have a Zatanna book. Lois Lane. Double Down. Lois Lane. Fallout. Lois Lane. Triple Threat. Man, they're really going for Lois Lane. Let's see. Swamp Kid. That looks really cool. Kind of looks like that one book. Kind of looks like that one book, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's what it looks like. But Arkham-Maniacs, I want to read that. It looks like an adorable little cartoon. So, it looks like an adorable little book. And I would buy the would like it. It's a really cool cartoon. Still waiting for Batman Bruce Wayne to show up in that. Anyway, Zack Snyder talked about his what could have been. These DC films, what could have been. Snyder confirms his original plans for his Justice League movies involving a 5-movie arc and story. While discussing the film in a live stream watch party, Snyder touched upon Jimmy Olsen's death, which he confirms yes, the character is indeed dead. Snyder went on to explain his reasonings of killing off and keeping Jimmy Olsen dead, and that it's all about coincidences in a story that takes place over a 5-movie. About the consequences in the story it takes over a 5-movie arc. During the live stream ongoing, Snyder didn't dig into further details about his 5-movie story arc. But people close to Snyder previously revealed details about Snyder's 5 movies surrounding Justice League back in 2019. Saw an independent freelance market research analyst and focus group monitoring the DC movies. Neil Daly offered details about Snyder's original plan and what is going on to be all about Henry Cavill and Superman. WB executives were playing catch-up to Marvel and wanted to get the Justice League team out there as soon as possible. Snyder didn't want Justice League released as soon as it was. His plans was following the story of Superman. Daly said that Snyder wanted to do a 5 to 6 movie that started with Superman and being the reluctant hero leading to Superman that everybody is familiar with, i.e. the Boy Scout version approved by the president. Daly says the arc started with Superman with the idea of him being reluctant, apathetic hero who didn't know if he belonged on Earth or wanted to save people. Leading to the Superman we all know, Daly said that we never got the chance to see it. Daly says that Snyder's 5 to 6 movie arc started with Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, Man of Steel 2, 2-part Justice League 2 and 3. Daly says that a lot of things were left out from Snyder's true vision, and that Snyder got the raw end of the deal, and that Snyder had a lot going on moving forward. Daly confirms that the Aquaman did save Clark Kent from the oil rig in Man of Steel, and that a lot was left out from the Snyder's original plans for Batman vs. Superman. And Stitch woke up from his nap. Obviously things changed with Ben Affleck going to do the Batman movie as part of Snyder's overall story and vision that changed yet again. Snyder was off Justice League and Joss Whedon was brought on. Affleck left Batman, and the rest, they say, is history. Presently, a Snyder cut of Justice League is speculation of getting released in the upcoming Warner Media HBO Max streaming service. Damn, that's a lot of process. Man. What could have been? I talked about it before, and I know a lot of people are probably like, can you just move on from the Affleck Batman? Pattinson. I am pro Robert Pattinson Batman. I am. Any actor who plays Batman, I'm going to support. I think it's going to be great. Pattinson's definitely going to bring his own interpretation and his own portrayal of Batman, different from the Bale and Affleck. Kilmer, Wes, Batman. He is. I look forward to it. But, what could have been? What could have been? I will say this. I think Snyder had good. And I think, a lot of people were probably like, why Superman? What if Nolan did, 5 movies about Batman? That would have been great, but... But... Imagine 5 movies... I mean...
Well, a lot of Superman fans want to live in 1980.
A lot of them want to live in that Christopher Reeve, the smile at the camera, the
This, doing a pose, you know, yeah. Um, you want to take a step outside, General? Like a lot of people want that stupid ass Superman movies, and I love Christopher Reeve's Superman. I do, but as a Batman fan looking at this, it's just like, can you people move the fuck on already? Like Batman, and I love the '60s Batman, but Batman evolved. He went from the bright, campy I love to death. I think Adam West best of what Batman is. But Batman moved on. Batman evolved back darker. He went back to his roots, being a Dark Knight. You know, the Superman today, before Bendis decided to step back into the good old days of Superman, Superman was a very evolved character.
he was married. He has a son who has the same powers as him, teaching his son how to be, a part of this world, how to be two individuals, how to be the human and how to be a superpower being. People are stuck in the fucking 80s. Superman isn't always he isn't always, bright and colorful. I mean, yeah, he is now, but he isn't what you think he is in the 80s. Like, he isn't just, smiling, cheerful
Superhero. He's a person. And to be honest, like, if somebody, like, the reason why Man of Steel Superman is really possibly the best version of Superman we got is mainly because he was a reluctant hero. His dad, was like, don't,
why a lot of people are like,
dad died in this.
Like, the reason he did that was the dad was protecting him. It's like if the dad was like, if somebody saw you, they would tell everybody about you. They would be like, Superman, they'd be like, Clark Kent of the Kent farm has powers, and the government would be after him. The government would try to capture and detain him and hold him prisoner and not let him be a free human individual. They would hold him prisoner. That's what they would do. I mean, look at Flashpoint story. Clark Kent, Superman, is held in a prison, never to step outside and see the world, because he has all this power. That's what the dad was, that's what Jonathan Kent was protecting Clark from. Being targeted by the government and the world's government and armies. That's what it was about. Like, they would fear him. That's what Donovan
was about. Was Clark Kent, Superman, was feared by the government for having powers that could overthrow anything.
And that's why Batman had to step in and be like,
Batman stepped in and kicked the shit out of him. That was a good movie. Even though I sat through like the 3-hour version. Yeah. Afterwards, it was like I had a lighter, like when they play Freebird. Uh, that was a good movie. I was like the only one. I remember it was funny though. Like my uncle cried because Superman died. My dad was like upset. He goes, "I can't believe Superman, got beat." And I was like, "Yeah, told you." And it was funny though. Like my dad was upset. He was not happy about Batman beating Superman. And I was just like, "I told you, it's gonna happen." Superman got his ass whooped. like it was funny though. Like like that was just like I was just like I was saying like I admit like Superman did put up a fight. I mean, if it was the Superman Returns, forget it. He'd be gone. I mean that fucker got shanked in the back by Lex Luthor of all people. Batman just was like, he's like, you know, like the version of Batman. Like if I was Batman in that movie, I'd be like, "Do you bleed? I want you to know I don't give no fucks." Like that'd be it. Like but that was a good movie though. Like I mean, I know a lot of people criticize it and stuff. And the thing about it, is like the one thing that bugs me the most, and I know it's controversial. It's about Batman killing and stuff. A lot of people complain and bitch about Batman killing. Here's the thing. And all the good Batman's killed. A lot of people just don't know it. Adam West killed a shark. So let that be in the first one. Michael Keaton. I mean, he didn't kill Joker. Gravity killed Joker. Val Kilmer. Balance and Gravity killed Two-Face. Christian Bale. Raj chose his death. Put that on. You can't put that on Christian Bale Batman, but Gravity killed Two-Face. Talia had it coming. She was trying to destroy the world. Bane, Catwoman, she busted a cap in Bane's ass for sure. I love that moment, by the way. Like she just blew him to pieces.
Oh shit, that was a good moment. That was my favorite.
I mean, she just and you seen Bane fly. Like she just went and she rolled. Batman, Ben Affleck. I mean, here's the thing about it. A lot of people complained about like Batman, packing heat and loading the criminals and stuff. Like, if anyone read The Dark Knight Returns, he used rubber bullets in that movie. I mean, in that comic and in the animated film. He used rubber bullets, so it probably could have been rubber bullets that just destroyed everything. And the thing about it is, like, the car getting crushed, like, those guys probably survived. I mean, maybe. I don't know. He didn't stop and ask me, like, are you guys alright? Oh, you're good? Okay. Fucking go Terminator on your boss. I mean, he didn't stop and ask. He just was like, I'm going to destroy these fuckers. But that was a good movie. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the podcast. Almost going 2 hours talking, rambling. Anyway, I gotta finish up the one article real quick, and we'll hop off and go see what's happening. Uh,
Anyway, DC discusses Spark retailer concerns over coronavirus plans.
Publication, physical and digital. DC Comics as announced last night. Multiple distribution options to get their comic books out in the world, both physical and digitally, which means a new printer, new distributor, venues that still are open, Comixology and Kindle, retailers, venues, including comic book store that are not yet shut down, bookstore, mass market stores that are more widely open for essential, such as like Walmart, Target. There have been a lot of concerns about these plans raised by more outspoken comic book retailers, which raises fear about obsession of certain comic fans may lead them from one downstate to another in search of a comic book, or from one sold out store to another, potentially spreading the coronavirus as they go.
I don't think, like, they kind of give like this this comment of like comic book readers are messy.
Don't shower people.
That's racist to say that, because I will say this: I am a neat freak. I am like OCD. I have a bottle of hand sanitizer with me. And I am buying a face mask for sure. I found one that, looks like Bane mask. People be like, where's Josh at? I'd walk in and be like, speak of the devil. But he shut up here.
I will say this, like, part of me wishes that I wish Heath Ledger was alive, so he Dark Knight Rises. But man, I would have wished
on his own fucking joke.
Like, Ledger would have brought something unique. Like, would you imagine, like, if Heath Ledger, was in Dark Knight Rises? Him, you would have, like, all the characters, Batman, Catwoman, Bane, Joker. Would you imagine, like,
Ledger's Joker, like, shot Bane, and he stood over Bane, like, shot Bane with, like, Joker gas or something? Or Bane's mask got affected with Joker gas, and Joker rips off that mask, and you see, like, the scars on Bane's face, and you see the Joker smile, and Joker puts on the mask and starts, like,
talking. Can you imagine how awesome that would have been?
That's something in my mind.
Interesting. But
yeah,
I'm a neat.
I don't
people. I don't like shaking hands. It's like the one I never understood people who shook hands. I understood it. Like, that was like the one thing I never understood. But the thing about it is, like, comic book store retailers keep their stores clean. Dark Side Comics is a very clean and neat
store. I don't get, like...
Here's the thing about it. DC Comics
is a company that wants to make money.
Small comic book businesses would want to make money. They want to keep their store open. And the thing is, DC is looking at this. It's like, we need to keep the small shops open. They need to make money. They need to keep making business, deals and stuff and sales. And DC is not stupid. You have Valiant, you have Marvel, you have IDW, you have all these shops, other comic book companies close because the coronavirus. I don't think DC's like, what we should do? We should just, go with them and, close and not do things. No. DC's going to be like, you know what? These idiots shut down. You know what? Fuck them. We're going to be making comics and we're going to be making money. That's what we're going to do. That's how it is. They're not going to be like, we're all in this together. We're going to close up shop just like everybody else. No. They have contracts with writers and artists. They're not going to pay people to sit at home and do nothing. They're going to be wanting to make sure they want their money, the money they spend to be well made. They're not going to just sit at home and pay somebody, because DC isn't like Marvel where they just, hire freelance people for a certain time and just, you're gone, you're out of here. They paid Bendis millions, so they're going to fucking write out that contract. They're not just going to have Bendis sit at home. As much as we all wish Bendis would quit writing, they're not going to pay that fucker just to sit on the couch and be like, well, good for DC. I'll be honest, like, I have nothing, nothing to do, I realize, like, when I get paid,
the stores I go to are fucking closed. Except Subway. Subway's open. But can't
to make a deli sandwich,
I'll just go Subway. But I realize, like,
I have nothing. Like, if I want to buy a comic book, I have to go and buy it. And the thing is, like, I'm one of those people a book to be like, okay, am I gonna buy this book or not? I don't want to buy it and just sit at home like the GIF video of Daffy Duck just sitting there waiting. But I realize when I get paid, I have nothing fucking to do. I have nothing really to do. Like, I can't go anywhere. Can't go to Half Price Books. Can't go to Dark Side. And I don't want to go to Walmart, but I have to. That's where my bank is, and I need to take money. But like, I have nothing really to do. To buy cat food. Like, that's for damn sure. Because people are buying up cat food. Like, I went to dollar store yesterday with my dad because we were driving around, so I had to stop in a dollar store. I am not making this up. They were sold out of cat food, dog food, cat litter, and Mountain Dew. They were sold out of 12 packs, almost 2 liters of Mountain Dew. I saw that, I was like, shit. And Doritos were gone. I remember thinking, like, did they run through the store? Because my sister is like, she loves Doritos. But, and Mountain Dew. I was thinking, like, shit, did the store? Like, I just sat there and they're like, And I remember sending her a message like, "Did you buy all the Mountain Dew and Doritos?" She goes, "No." I was like, "Well, somebody did." She goes, "Which store?" I was like, "The dollar houses." She goes, "Fuck." She goes, "Up everything." I was like, "Yeah."
Apparently, the store person said everyone's going after the Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Like, fuck. She was like, I gotta go to the store. And I am not making this up. She sent me a Snapchat video saying them motherfuckers bought up all the ranch Doritos. She's like, "But I got the Mountain."
I was like,
What about the nachos? She goes, "It's apocalypse." I was just like, she goes, "The only ones that are left is the spicy Doritos. They ought to be glad I have a Mountain Dew." Like, she was just pissed. I was like, "But do they have cat food?" She goes, "Gone." I was like, "Damn it." Well, food. If I didn't,
I'd be doing the podcast because
one time I ran out of cat food. Lola, our cat, was pissed. I mean, she kicked up litter out of her box onto the floor. Cat food one day. I mean, litter everywhere. There was more litter on the floor than the box itself. And me and this cat, I stared at. It was like out of Super. It was Josh versus Lola. Out of cat food of justice. Like, that's what it was. And let me tell you, it was very intimidating. That cat did not blink. And she just like moved forward and I took a step back. Has claws. And I don't have no bat armor, so anyway. We'll be back tomorrow to do the show, and I'm happy that DC is doing their thing. It's going to be very. I don't think it's going to be very difficult to, for comics and stuff. Like, people are thinking like they're going to be out of books and all that. I don't think it will be that difficult. I hope Darkseid opens their door for a limited amount of people to come in. Because there's some cool stuff in that store that I like. Mainly the t-shirts. Like, they had like a cool Batman Flashpoint t-shirt. They had like Joker with the Joker cat t-shirt. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully new books. I can get new books and we'll just go back to doing the regular thing of like what new books are out. I didn't get to dig through the back to the back issues for a while. So anyway, I'll probably do that tomorrow. So I will see you all tomorrow. Bye. And don't forget to wash your hands and do your social distancing far away. Bye.